All right. So if you have about $3,000 saved up and you're looking to start your first online business, a second business, or looking to start something online, in today's video, I'll explain exactly how I've been able to help people transform their initial investment into businesses that are making 10, 20, 30K a month. Here are a few examples before I go into details. As you can see, Sarush, he signed a deal for 3.7K. Nicholas, he signed a 5K deal. Jose, 1.7. Praveen, 2.5, then a 5K deal. So in today's video, I'll go over exactly the process that we followed to be able to get these types of results. This is perfect where you can technically start with no money. It's not impossible. It's just I wanted to take a different approach and work with an initial investment. So if you do have some money saved up and you're looking to accelerate the process and get the ball rolling quicker, then this video is for you. So first off, it starts with the offer. Okay, with a bad offer, you will not be able to make money online. Okay, from experience, one thing that has worked extremely well with our agency is selling local lead gen to blue collar niches. Okay, so local lead gen, we will help blue collar niches, so blue collar businesses, get more customers, get more leads in the door. What do I mean by blue collar? Anything that's considered a trade. Okay, so painting, landscaping, tree removal, kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, those types of markets, from experience, from the people that we've worked with, work extremely well. And all of these people that I showcased, they're all in blue collar niches. Okay, I believe there's a higher demand for what we do, which is selling them local lead gen, so helping them get more customers. And they're a relatively easy market to go after. So they're easier to target and to contact and to pitch our potential service. Now, the important part here, I'm going to replace this, is very important that we work with people who have a budget or have an existing business. Okay, one mistake I'll often see is people targeting every single type of business out there. And unfortunately, if you do work with a plumber, let's say, who's making $5,000 a month, it's safe to say that that person probably doesn't have the budget to work with you. So not only to pay your fee, but if you are going to help them get more customers through social media ads, they need to have a budget to run ads in itself. Okay, so we're going to go after blue collar niches who are making at least $360K a year, which is $30K a month. The objective is to contact these types of people, so people who are making $30K a month, who are looking to scale their business to $1 million a year. Okay, we're looking for ambitious business owners, not someone who just wants to get a few jobs here and there. We're looking to work with people who are serious about scaling their business. Okay, and from experience, these people are easier to work with. And again, they're more willing to put their money into ad spend, into marketing, to be able to scale their business aggressively. Now, what is the service that we're going to offer? Okay, we will offer multiple things. But the core of our service is to help them fill the gap between their current situation to their desired situation, which again, from 360K a year all the way up to $1 million a year. Okay, how are we going to get them to that point? It happens in 3 stages. There's lead generation. So we're going to help them get leads. So put people who are interested in working with a plumber or a painter or whatever. We're going to help them do appointment setting. And then from there, we're going to help them close deals. When it comes to the lead generation, very simple. You will have to help them come up with an offer. So again, using the plumber example, what is something you can advertise on the behalf of a plumber that will allow them to get customers, that is a high ticket job for them, so that they can make a good amount of money back on their, like a good ROI on their investment into ad spend. So you don't want to get them small jobs where they would have to do 50 jobs in a month just to break even on their marketing spend. Okay, you want to help them get high ticket jobs. What is the angle that we're going to approach? What is the platform? So is it Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google, TikTok, YouTube ads? Again, depending on who you work with, there's always going to be one platform that's a bit more appropriate. From there, we're going to constantly optimize their ads. We're going to use a media buyer to make sure that we get them amazing results from day one. And I wouldn't expect you to run the ads for your clients, because we're looking to scale this business aggressively. We want to outsource fulfillment as soon as possible. From there, we're going to use a CRM to help manage their leads. Once everything is set up, we transition to appointment setting. So if I bring this back, you will understand why this was made smaller. Here, appointment setting. So once we get them leads, okay, so people who are interested to work with our plumber, we need to make sure we have some sort of follow-up sequence in place. So let's say they clicked on the ad, but for whatever reason, they didn't fill out the form or they didn't call our client. In that case, we have to make sure we follow up. Okay, we can send them emails, we can send them texts. Again, it's up to you to see what's the most appropriate thing, if we should do both or just one or the other. From there, we can set up a referral system, data reactivation, so there are old leads that they might have in their system that they've never contacted. A very good offer to include is to implement appointment setters into their business. Okay, so if they get 20 leads in a day, but no one's contacting those leads, then of course, you're basically not going to get them any results and they're not going to be happy and they're going to blame it on you. Okay, so some companies, especially at this yearly revenue, they probably have appointment setters or people who are in charge of calling those leads. If they don't, a really good offer is to place an appointment setter into their company and have that person call the leads on their behalf. From there, we might use a dialing system like Go High Level or use something else that connects to Go High Level. When it comes to sales, we can help them with sales, but depending again on who you're working with, this can be a bit tricky. All right. If you're working with like a kitchen remodeling company, it's going to be hard for you to close the deals on their behalf. Okay. Because a kitchen remodeling, the person, your client, has to go to their potential client, look at the kitchen, give them a quote, speak to the client, and then in person complete the sale. Or it might take a few months to even complete the sale because they have to draw up the plans and all of these things. So this one is why I made it initially a bit smaller. Okay. Because this is probably, it's a case by case. It depends on who you work with. The bulk of what you do will be these two things right here. So if I had to redo this, I would extend this here and I would extend this as well. Okay, so this will be the core of our service. If needed, we can provide them some sales training and just show them like, hey, from experience from our other plumbers that we're working with, this is how they're closing deals. Maybe we can learn a thing or two from those people and implement it into your business. Okay, because ultimately we're not providing media buying or data reactivation. We will transform your business from a business that makes 30K a month or 360K a year to a business that now makes $1 million a year. And whatever needs to be done to reach that point, we will help you do it. Now, once we have the service in place, again, I would go in details on each of these things, more specifically for my specific niche. So what is the offer for my niche? What is the angle? All of these things. Once you have everything set up, then we transition to how much are we going to charge for our services. Okay. And this is a very important part. I will only focus on monthly or multiple month packages. Okay. So at the beginning, 3 to 6 months, even 12 months might be appropriate. Simply because that 3 months, 6 months, you will hold the client longer. So they're going to stay with you longer. You get paid more upfront, so you can reinvest it into the business quicker. And also it's easier to have a guarantee when you're working over 3 months versus just 30 days. Okay, because what if it takes you multiple weeks to set everything up, or sometimes just the first month things don't go super smoothly because we're running ads. Maybe it's in a new area, you're not super familiar with it, and there's multiple adjustments that need to be done. So giving yourself 3 months to get them results is a very safe buffer time that you can give yourself if you are working with a decent media buyer. And 6 months is better. So the way I would pitch it is I would start with 6 months. If for whatever reason they're giving me the objections, they're saying it's too expensive, I'll downsell to 3 months instead. Here's a example pricing that you can give. Again, this is just like a reference point. Depending on who you work with and the size of the company, this will change. All right. But I would structure my packages something like that. So for 3 months, it would be 4K, a one-time payment for 3 months. For 6 months, I would reduce the price and it would be 6K. Okay, reduce it in the sense of how much, if you divide it by a monthly payment, this comes out to 1K a month, and this is a bit more than 1K a month. Okay, so they get a discount by staying with you longer. So this gives them an incentive to pick this option. From here, have a money back guarantee. Just you must have some sort of risk reversal with these people, just because there is lots of marketing agencies out there that have no idea what they're doing, so they might be a bit skeptical. So having that money back guarantee is just something that's going to help you close more deals. And also, if you don't make their money, you should provide them their money back. Okay, I think it's the least you can do. If you do burn someone's marketing ad spend, plus you took an initial fee and you didn't get them any results, I don't think you deserve to have this money in the first place. So you should give them a money back guarantee. So that's how I would position my offer, okay? So I sell local lead gen to blue collar niches, which includes all of these things. The goal is to give them a transformation with their income, not to provide these individual services. It's by combining these individual services that we get them to their desired situation. And that's what we focus on. This is how I would charge my services. So I would group them up in monthly packages. So it could be 12 months, 6 months, 3 months. From there, how am I going to get appointments? This is where the initial budget will come into play. Okay, lots of people will tell you, okay, we're going to start cold calling, we're going to do cold DMs or cold emails. Those things, they work very well. You can get results. It's how I started my agency, but it is not the quickest way to start. Okay, it's a free way to start. And I would, looking back, if I had to restart, I would rather get a job, save up 3K and start running ads from day one. Just because of how easier it is to close and how much simpler and the leverage that I get by using my money to get appointments so I can make more money in the future. So we have 3K to play with. So we're going to spend about $100 a day. From here, we're going to pick an acquisition channel, which will be Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Here, we're going to set up the media. Okay. This includes the landing page. So on the landing page, we will have our offer, which is why you have to do this in step 1. We're going to have a video sales letter. So this is a video where you will showcase what your service is going to look like and the type of results that that client can expect from working with you. I will set up video ads. I've done both picture ads and video ads. From experience, videos work way better. And then from there, set up some sort of email and SMS follow-up sequence. So for everyone that clicks on my ad but doesn't end up booking a call with me, I still want to retarget those people. From here, build some social proof. So I would start working on a personal brand, just posting some case studies and results. If you're just starting out, you cannot obviously do that at the beginning. But one thing you can do is leverage your media buyer's case studies. Okay, so if you are working with a media buyer, he should have some experience. So you can use his case studies as your own when you're closing deals because that person will be technically working with your client. The goal ultimately is to fully pack yourself with calls. Okay, obviously with $100 a day, you will not be able to get 5 to 10 calls a day. Okay, this is just the long-term goal. I will explain the amount of calls that you can expect with this budget later on in the video. From here, closing. Okay, so once I set up the ads, I put $100 a day. Appointments will be coming in. I will be getting leads. This is where we move on to the sales process. All right. So first off, in the actual Facebook form or on my landing page, I will have some way to qualify the leads because remember, we are only working with people who are making at least $360K a year. I don't want to work with people who are making $10K a month and they have $8K in expenses. They're left with $2K profit. And then with that $2K, they're supposed to reinvest into ads for themselves plus pay my fee. Okay, it's just so much harder to close. So I'd rather pay a bit more to get qualified leads, but at least I know they can afford my services. From here, as soon as a lead comes through, if they self-book or even if they don't, if they self-book or they don't self-book, I will still call the leads. Okay, so no matter what, I call them and I introduce myself and I just have an initial conversation. Okay, so most of the time what's going to happen is people will fill out the form, but they're not going to book a call on their own. In that case, you call the lead within 5 minutes. Very important. Okay, if they go through the form, they go on the landing page, they watch a video, they book a call on their own, I would still call them and just introduce myself, confirm they're going to show up on the call, explain to them what the call will look like. If possible, just take the sales call right there and then on the phone call, or just tell them like, hey, are you actually free right now? I have 45 minutes available. If you want, we can just hop on that call right now and I can explain to you what this process will look like. Okay. From there, I will implement either a 1 or 2 call close system. Okay. I've made the mistake of telling people that 2 call closes are okay. And what happened is that some people were purposefully making their first call a non-closing call. And they didn't even have the intention in the first place of trying to close the deal in the first call. And their objective was to just secure a second call. Okay. When I say 2 call closes are okay, I say that they're okay if appropriate. Okay. If it's possible, 100% go for a 1 call close. All right. But because you're working with business owners, they might have business partners. It's a big transaction. It's quite expensive. So if a 2 call close is required, that is also okay. But the objective is to always get a 1 call close. So if you're not able to close on the spot, you schedule a second call. The actual process of the call, very important. You're going to start off with discovery. So you ask them a few questions, see where they're at with their business. Why do they want to scale? What have they tried in the past? Why hasn't that worked? Why do what brings you on the call? Blah, blah, blah. Just basic questions, try to get to know their business. From there, you showcase your process again. So you show them what the service will look like, showcase results that they can expect, answer any questions, handle any objections if needed. From there, you essentially have 4 options that you can do, okay? Either you close the deal, which is the best option. If that's not possible, you will schedule a second call. And let's say they tell you, I need to speak to my business partner first, like we're 50-50, I cannot make this decision on my own. In that case, what you do is you tell them like, look, we're going to schedule a second call. Okay, we can do this tomorrow. That's going to leave you enough time today to speak to your business partner. For me to hold your spot, because I have multiple of these calls per day. Okay, so I work with multiple plumbers in your local area. And of course, if the next person tells me yes, they want to start working with me, I will take them instead of you. And from there, I will not be able to onboard another plumber in the local area, in the same local area, because otherwise they're just competing with each other. Okay, so for me to save your spot, I will need a small deposit of $250. It's completely refundable. So if on that second call you speak to your partner and for whatever reason they say, I don't want you to make more money with your business, I will refund you the entire thing. Okay, so that's more or less what I would say. But very important, you must have a close, a depot, or at least a second call booked, even if you don't collect a depot. But if the person tells you, I'm very interested, I'll pay you tomorrow when I get paid or whatever, don't just say, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Here's my number. Text me whenever you're ready. Okay, you must secure some sort of second follow-up with them. Okay, so if they get paid tomorrow, you schedule a call for tomorrow to collect that payment. And of course, the 4th option is that they're just not going to close. They're unqualified. They're not a good fit or whatever. And obviously, that's not what we want. Okay, so very important. This is one mistake I see many people doing in sales, is that they'll get to the end. The person will say like, yeah, this looks good. I'll get back to you next week and we can start working together. You say perfect, you end the call. And then you never hear from that person again. Okay, so don't make that mistake. From there, as soon as you close your first deal, congratulations, you now own a business that's making money. From there, we move on to fulfillment. Okay, so how do we fulfill on the service that we sold them on, which is this right here? The objective is to outsource fulfillment as soon as possible. Okay, because at the end of the day, this is what's going to make you the most money. You speaking to clients and you closing new deals. Yes, if you are able to hold a client for 24 months, you will get paid more. So fulfillment is very important. I'm not saying it's something you should completely ignore, because that's not true. It's very important. But as you, the business owner, I believe closing is your most leveraged activity where you can make the most initial money for your company. And then from here, I would outsource it to a media buyer. Okay, ideally, in a perfect world, your media buyer will be able to onboard your clients. Okay, so they'll have a call together. You'll give them access to everything, explain to them how the process will work, set up the actual ads, the service delivery, and just make sure they're retaining and upselling the clients if appropriate. Okay, so an example of an upsell is, let's say someone signed up with you for 3 months. At the end of the 3 months, the client is super happy. He's like, yeah, I'm willing to stay with you for another 3 months. In that case, you tell them like, hey, instead of doing 3 months, do you want to do 12 months? And we'll actually give you a discount for signing up for 12 months instead of 3. That's an example of an upsell. So you collect more money up front. That's always the objective. You might start off with just having a media buyer, which is okay. In a perfect world, you would have a media buyer, someone to do systems, so to set up go high level automations, all of these things, and as well as a setter. Okay, so remember how I said some companies will get a bunch of leads, but no one's there to follow up with the leads. If you can have someone take care of that for them, that's just a perfect way to complete your service delivery. And yeah, at this point, you just repeat the process. Okay, so earlier I mentioned how much like you can expect with $100 a day, like how much money can you expect to make? Okay, so I'm gonna break everything down. If I understand, how do I open a text? So I'm just gonna copy paste. So with $100 a day, you are spending about $3K a month. Let's say you are qualifying your leads and you're being a bit picky, and let's say it costs you $100 per appointment, okay, which I think is like a healthy objective to aim for. So it costs you $100 per appointment. That means you'll be booking 1 call a day. 1 call a day or 30 calls in a month. You can obviously have a lower cost per appointment if you are filtering less and you're being less strict with the type of people you speak with. You can also have a way higher cost per appointment and be super strict with who you work with. Okay, so the way I view a cost per appointment, I view it as something that's very flexible. You can play around with this. You determine how high you want it and how low you want it. It's more so about finding a balance where you are still making a very good ROI, so return on your investment with your ad spend, all while maintaining a high quality, and you're able to close consistently at like 20-30% rate. So for now, let's say it's $100 per appointment. So that means if you spend $100 a day, you'll get 1 call a day. You might get 10 leads in a day, but you call them and only one of them is qualified. So you book 1 call a day. So that's how it works. So let's say you have a 50% show rate from your ads. That means only 15 calls will show and you will take. If you have a horrible closing rate, okay, and you're not very good at it, which is okay, and you close 1 deal out of 15, in that case, your 3K will come out to, let's say you close them on a 3-month package, you will end up making 4K. Okay, and with expenses from your media buyer and stuff like that, maybe additional softwares, you're essentially going to break even on your ad spend. Okay, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's not the ideal thing to do. All right, because you are making 4K upfront, you can reuse that money to reinvest it into ads. And of course, at the end of the 3 months, if you do a good service, you will retain that client and they'll keep paying you that 4K or potentially upsell them. Now, let's say you have a decent closing rate and you close 3 deals out of 15. Okay, so in that case, that's a 20% closing rate. Okay, 20% is a lot more appropriate and it's what you should aim for. So in that case, if I close 3 deals, I am making 12K in a single month. So as you can see, I made quite a significant ROI on my ad spend. Now, you might have made 12K in contract value. Okay, so what does that mean? That means maybe not everyone paid in full. Okay, maybe some people did some sort of payment plan or they paid you half and they'll pay you another half at the end of the month and stuff like that. It happens, it's normal. But at least when you collect 12K in contract value, you know your ROI on ads is really significant and it's really good. Okay, so this is what you can expect. Of course, these numbers can change. Your show rate might be way worse. You might not close very well in a month. You might have to close someone on a monthly package. Things play around, but as you can see, with 1 close per month with 3K ad spend, you are essentially breaking even on your business. And again, if the client stays with you for a long time, you will end up making a huge profit. So there's lots of money to be made if this is done correctly. And this is why I really like using money to start this business, because it just makes the whole process way quicker. Okay, and another thing that many people don't mention, the difference between, let's say, cold calling and getting like leads through a cold method versus ads, is that when you do cold calling, let's say, you are reaching out to the customer. So in the customer in the first place never really had the intention of working with a marketing agency. Okay, you just had a pretty good offer and he's like, I'll hear him out, like it could be beneficial to my business. Okay, and not to say you cannot scale a business doing that way, because again, that's what I did when I started. It's just the dynamic is a bit different, because when you're running ads, these people, they're the ones who are scrolling on Facebook, let's say, and they click the ads on their own, they fill out the form and they decide to show up on the call. So of course, the intention of buying is way higher, and they realize that they need a service like this to scale their business. So the whole dynamic of the call is super different, and I found it to be easier to close those types of leads. Okay, you give me 2 people, they're both making 30K a month with their business. One got booked by a cold call, one got booked from an ad, and the one from the ad will be easier to close. Okay, so that's another thing that many people don't take into account when it comes to running ads, which I think is super important. Okay, so I hope this is useful. I hope this gave you some insights on how you can accelerate the process if you do have some money and start an agency. If you want me to build this out for you and to make sure you're not wasting your money on ads because you didn't set up the ads correctly, there should be a link in the description to book a call and work with me. Otherwise, do your research, look into it, see what other agencies are doing to run ads and get appointments. Try to replicate that. There's going to be some trial and error. You might waste a bit of money at the beginning. It's normal. It's part of the process. But once you crack this is just a money printing machine. Okay, and then from there is just, I want to put more money. I want to fulfill for more clients. And that's going to be your new bottleneck, is not going to be getting new clients, but rather not being able to fulfill for all of your clients. So you're going to have to put everything on pause and just focus on building this team out so you can get more clients into your business. Okay, so I hope this is useful. As usual, there's going to be a link in the description if you want to work with us. Otherwise, leave a comment. I will answer any questions you might have. Let's crush it. Let's make a bunch of money, and we'll see each other soon. Peace.